Okay, so right now I'm going to talk about how to make your puzzle cube explode, how to do the animation video. So in your browser, you should see different components. If it still says component 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, as long as your different pieces are components. So when I hover over the blue piece, I can see that my blue piece highlights a little bit. Red piece highlights, brown piece highlights, green and black. So we've got multiple pieces highlighted when I hover over the components. And right now I'm in model. So once you have this finished, you need to come up and show it to me because it's worth 25 points. But then to get some extra credit points, change it from model to animation. And in animation, this is where you can add transformations. So you can add transformations to make the pieces, the different components move. So we can transform a component, and we click transform component, and then we highlight a component. Now I'm getting arrows asking me which way do I want this component to move. We can move it to the right, we can move it up, or we can move it to the left. So I want to move this one out to the left, and I'm going to type 5 inches. You see how it automatically moved? And that 5 was automatically in this distant box, so all I had to do was type it in, and it moves 5 inches. Over here, you can see this transform component window, my Z distance converted to 5. You don't have to know which axis you're using, X, Y, or Z. You can just use these arrows to help you decide which direction you want your piece to move. When you've moved it 5 inches in whatever direction you decide is best, click OK. And now that transformation is saved. I'm going to transform the next piece, transform components, and I'm going to move this piece. I don't want to move it right because it'll go through the red piece. That's kind of weird. I'm going to move it up, and over here in my dialog box, I'm going to type 5. See how it moved up 5? You can zoom out a little bit so you can see it again. And I'm going to click OK. Transform another component. I'm going to move the red piece, and it's already going to the right, which is where I want it to go. I'm going to move it 5, click OK. And I'm going to transform a component, the blue one. I want it to go backwards. I want it to move back over here. So I'm going to click the forward arrow, and when I type in 5, I'm going to type -5. Negative just means opposite. Negative is opposite of positive, so if the blue arrow is going to move at 5 inches this way, -5 will move at 5 inches this way. Watch what this does. When I type in -5, see how it moves backwards? That's right where I wanted it to go. I'm going to click OK. And my black one looks like it doesn't need to transform, but it's actually cooler if you move all the pieces. So I'm going to transform this black component also, and I want it to move down. So I don't have an arrow pointing down, but I have an arrow pointing up, and I can type -5, and now it moves down 5. Click OK. Now all of my pieces have a component, and I can, down here at the bottom, I have the play button. I can play my animation. It will transform apart and back together. And I can always see how my puzzle cube is going to go. So this is your animation, this is your video, this is your explosion of your puzzle cube. So you can see how it separates and fits back together. And this way, if you ever forget what your puzzle cube does, you can see it very plainly in the animation. Okay, and that's it for the animation. Good job, guys.